Hello, dear students. I am Deepa GR. Today, I am going to discuss the play The Burden by T P Kailasam. The Burden is a playlet of the Ramayana. A playlet means a short play or a dramatic piece. Now, we will go through about the writer first. T P Kailasam. He was born on 1884 in a Tamil family in Karnataka. His full name is Tyagaraja Paramasiva Kailasam. His father, T. Paramashiva Iyer, was a munsif in the Mysore State Service. He later became the Chief Justice of the Mysore High Court. T. P. Kailasam was a prominent bilingual writer. He wrote short plays both in Kannada and in English. Because of his unmatchable contribution to Kannada theatrical comedy, he earned the title Kannadakke Obbane Kailasam, that means one and only Kailasam for Kannada. His popular plays are Fulfillment, The Purpose, The Brahmin's Curse, The Burden. T P Kailasam wrote 17 Kannada plays and 19 English plays. He also chaired the Kannada Sahitya Sammelana held at Madras in 1945. T P Kailasam was also one of the early dramatists to introduce the element of realism in Kannada plays. So, what do we mean by realism then? Realism is a literary movement that developed in the 19th century France and it lasted until the early 20th century. It actually began as a reaction to 18th century Romanticism. It means the authors described things as they are without any embellishment. The movement that represents reality by portraying everyday experiences as they are in real life. Kailasam, he chooses his subjects from ancient epics, but he does not rest his content with merely copying the original, but he brings a challenging individual approaches to bear upon the mythological personages he portrays. Before we enter into the play, let us know the background story for this play. The playlet, The Burden, is based on an incident from Ayodhya Kanda of the Ramayana. So, for your kind information, it is Valmiki Ramayana. But Kailasam has made minor alterations in this playlet. Anga and Vanga are not to be found in the original Ramayana. They are introduced by T P Kailasam to suit the purpose of the play. However, let us know the story first. The king, Dasharatha of Kosala kingdom, has three wives. Kausalya is the first wife and her son is Sri Rama. Bharata is the son of the second wife Kaikeyi. Lakshmana and Shatrughna are the two sons of the last wife Sumitre. Dasharatha decides to crown Sri Rama, the eldest son, as the prince. The coronation ceremony is fixed, but Manthare, the maid servant, poisons the mind of Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi reminds Dasharatha of her early promises and now she makes two demands. The first demand is that Sri Rama should be banished from the kingdom for 14 years. Her next demand is that her son Bharata should be crowned as the prince who should later become the king of Kosala. Inevitably and helplessly and most unwillingly, Dasharatha yields to her demands and acts accordingly. Sri Rama is banished from the kingdom and Bharata is crowned as the prince. Unable to bear the sorrow of Sri Rama's exile, the king Dasharatha dies of heartbreak. This is the background of the play. The play, The Burden, is about the mourning of the sons, citizens, and officers of Kosala kingdom. So there are four main characters in the play, that is Bharata and Shatrughna, princes of Kosala, Vasishta, priest to the royal house, Anga and Vanga, aged chamberlains at the court, and these two are the characters created by T P Kailasam to suit the purpose of the play. So, I forgot to mention about one thing. T P Kailasam has not only made some minor alterations in the play The Burden, but also we can find these type of alterations in the play The Purpose by T P Kailasam. In that play, T P Kailasam portrays Ekalavya's character quite differently. So, in that play, The Purpose, Ekalavya himself cuts his left thumb and gives it to his guru Dronacharya as a Guru Dakshina, but in the original Mahabharata, it is not the same. Rather, Arjuna tells Dronacharya to ask his left thumb as Guru Dakshina, and he particularly asks Ekalavya's left thumb only. And this is the alteration made by T P Kailasam in the play The Purpose to suit the title or to suit his intentions. So let us enter into the play then. So before that, I would like to tell you that this play is prescribed in Kuvempu University for second year BCom students. So in that textbook, the page number is 111. I will explain the play page by page. Please follow this page. In this play, we can find characters Bharata, Shatrughna, Vasishta and Anga, Vanga. The play takes place in a corridor in the palace in the early night. The period of this play is Ayodhya Kanda of the Ramayana. The two princes, Bharata and Shatrughna, appear on the stage. The physical surrounding is full of dust. The movement of the horses has caused the dust. This dust blinds the eyes of the princes. There is no brightness also, as it is early night. There is no enough light in the palace. In addition to the dim light and dust, the mental state of everyone in the palace is dull and full of sorrow, as the king Dasharatha is dead. The princess and the others are in a state of confusion. Here, the red ribbon is referring the red carpet in the palace road. Bharata is now crowned as the king, and Bharata Shatrughna feel the dull atmosphere and talk about it. Shatrughna tells Bharata that Bharata could see only the dust caused by the movement of the horses, but Shatrughna can see the feelings on the faces of the people. The people are in sad mode or they are in a gloomy mood. They glare at the princess. There is an unwelcomed note in their eyes. Shatrughna tells Bharata that he is afraid of the people's mood. Bharata laughs at Shatrughna's fear and tells Shatrughna means a terror to the enemies and he should not be feared about these things. According to Bharata, the people are angry and they have a fear because of shortage of rainfall, short of food grains and starvation. The people are also worried because the early king Rama is in the forest or he is in the exile. Bharata also refers to the story when Indra and Sakra drove Rama to battle. The same situation prevails now. Shatrughna has heard that story. Back then, the queen, Mother Kaikeyi, saved gods from the disaster. Bharata tells that the queen mother Kaikeyi was also with the king Dasharatha during the battle. He also tells that how Rama was bold enough to support his father in the battle. Lakshmana also supported and stood by Rama in that battle. So, the next page. Then Bharata and Shatrughna notice two persons entering. These two are another major characters in this play, Anga and Vanga, the aged chamberlains, and they announce their arrival. Bharata tells Shatrughna that Anga is taking him as the king and he is asking for his commands. But now Bharata introduces himself to Anga by addressing Anga as my lord. Look at the polite behavior of the Bharata, who is to be the king. Bharata admires the sharp eyes and courage of Anga during his youthful days. But now Anga can't see properly. Both the brothers talk about the weakness of old age, and Bharata tells old age is a sin. For that, Shatrughna replies Bharata that it's not a sin, but it's a time's edict that nobody will live long. One day or the other day, everyone grow old. We cannot stop growing old. The situation becomes so tense that nobody can speak clearly. They simply utter some words out of fear or confusion. Then Anga falls down and becomes unconscious. Bharata tells the courtiers to bring more lights, and this gloomy atmosphere is maddening, and they should attend Anga. Once again, the gloomy atmosphere increases. Everyone is unable to face the situation. Later, Bharata, in a confusion, questions himself, are we all awake or are we all possessed by a spirit? Shatrughna was unclear about Bharata's feelings, but he expresses that he can feel some coming danger or disaster. So now we are in page number 113. There, Bharata does not agree that there will be a disaster. The Vanga, another aged courtier who is on the stage, speaks about the critical condition of Anga. Bharata feels sorry for it and asks the physicians to attend immediately, and he also tells to call Anga's relatives. Later, Anga regains his consciousness and tells the others that being the oldest man, he shouldn't have lived to see the king's death, Dasharatha's death. He should have died earlier than the king. Anga cannot tolerate Rama's banishment to the forest. So, Anga tells the others that the wicked queen Kaikeyi should be punished as she is responsible for all this tragedy. Anga further tells Bharata and refers him as a boy king here that he wants to die soon rather than watching all the mishappenings. And then he prays God to forgive the thoughtless queen, that is Kaikeyi, as she committed a sin. The sin is nothing but excessive love for her son Bharata. Saying these words, Anga falls down. Bharata reverently closes the dead eyes of Anga and admires his courage. Then Bharata addresses Vanga whether the dead Anga's relatives have arrived. Bharata meditates upon the words spoken by Anga and thinks about Kaikeyi's sins. So now we are in page number 114. Bharata tells that after the death there will be a hallucination in the mind of the dead man. Bharata forces Vanga to give him the details about the tragic happenings, but Bharata is frightened, not knowing what to do. Then Shatrughna tries to console Bharata by announcing his father's death because Bharata has lost his state of mind here, and he states that his father Dasharatha is dead. Though others knew about the death of Dasharatha, Bharata comes to know these things. He shouts and loses the balance of mind. His own father is dead, for which his mother Kaikeyi is responsible. Shatrughna tries to console Bharata. So now we are in the last page, that is 115. Shatrughna reminds Bharata that Bharata is going to be the king. Bharata feels helpless and he wants to see the sage Vasishta in the palace. The sage Vasishta appears on the stage. Bharata falls at his feet. Now Bharata is hysterical. He asks Vasishta, "Could you not have saved him? Saving him, you would have saved all of us too. You could have saved all of us from this tragedy." Bharata tells all these things to Vasishta. Then the sage addresses Bharata, who is at his feet, as child and consoles him. According to the sage, Bharata, being a man and being a man of royal family, should have the courage to face the burden. Bharata should not lose control of his mind and emotions. God sends all these calamities or tragedies to test our strength of body, mind, heart, and soul. But Bharata tells, yes, I agree. But why it is him out of everyone? Bharata collapses at the Rishi's feet, and the play ends like this. The title of the play is The Burden. So, what do we mean by the burden, or what is the significance of the title then? It is the burden of sorrow which is difficult to bear. It is the burden of fate. It is the burden of sorrow. The burden is inevitable and it is a test of our strength by God. So, this is the meaning of the drama. I would like to know your responses. If you like, please hit the like button. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you.